Alright guys, it's 10 o'clock, so we're going to get started. So if everyone could be just a little bit quieter, that'd be great. Alright guys, we're going to get started right now. Thank you guys so much for coming out. Oh, okay, valid. That's fine. Now we're going to get started. Thank you guys so much for coming out. This means the world to me to see everyone caring this much about such an important issue. Yeah, I'm really happy that you guys are actually here. Okay, so just really quick, I'd like to personally thank the administrators for working with us with this. Solana Torres, Ashley Doss, June Robbins, Merle Wenger, Julia Sidley, Maria Solorio, Lizzie Eichmeyer, and Michael Minnick for coming out. He's from our district, so yeah, alright. We are here today to stand together on three main causes. First and foremost, to take a stand against the gun violence ravaging across our nation today. This issue directly impacts students more than any other group. Students have obviously and literally lost their lives because this issue has gone on for too long with no effective effort to stop it. We call upon our government to finally stand with us as students and fight it. The second cause is for West Campus to stand united with our fellow students in Parkland who, most recently, have witnessed the grave evil of gun violence firsthand. Our own West Campus Video Production Club is working hard to film this event and send it to Parkland. As another high school which is now officially taking a stand against gun violence and fight with the students also working to see change, we are their brethren in California. And the third cause, to show that this generation, the future, will no longer tolerate being silenced. After 78 mass shootings since Columbine, it has been proven to our generation time and time again that our government, our legislature, the adults that we have been told are the ones that will fight for us and make change for us, are not listening to us. But now we are demanding to be listened to. People do not easily assume the task of opposing our government's lack of action. This is especially true when the people that are assuming the task are primarily under the age of 18. Let me clarify, however, that there has been no measurable action against gun violence because no large, unified, and peaceful movement has come together to fight against it until now. We come together to stand against gun violence because until now, no one else has. The adults have not been doing their job efficiently enough, so now we have to. As Martin Luther King said, there comes a time when silence is betrayal. After 78 mass shootings since Columbine, we would be betraying our generation and fellow students if we came to the fork in the road of silence and betrayal, or speaking in devotion, and turned on the street of silence. The apathy that has developed towards gun violence is disappointing to the point of concern. We have, in a way, become desensitized to the obvious impacts events such as these could have on a society. One shooting happens and we sulk under a little dark cloud for a day or two and then forget about it until the next one happens and do the same thing over and over and over again until we simply forget about it altogether and begin to accept these shootings as a less than favorable feature of our nation. However, today is proving that our generation will no longer tolerate these tragedies and come together to stand up against them instead of falling back into our daily ritual of sulking, forgetting, and then accepting. Please do not be led to believe that after these 17 minutes and we go back to class and open up our textbooks that we have done our part and that this movement is completed. It's not. This new wave of change our generation is creating, not just on gun reform, but on all the injustices our nation is in our nation is just beginning and will not end until every single one of our demands is heard and met. You can all continue to stand against gun violence outside our school in many ways, primarily right here, on the internet. We carry in our pockets every day a tool that we often take for granted. We are the generation of information and communication. I urge you to use it. Learn about what you can do. Contact our district, our legislators, anyone, and ask what you can do to help change gun violence and the other issues that directly impact our generation. The idea of we shall overcome can be seen at the end of this tunnel, but only if we continue to fight and emerge from the shadows instead of dissenting into silence. Thank you. All right. I would now like to welcome up from our district, Michael Minnick. Thank you.
Thank you, Cora. So this is another moment where I am so proud to represent West Campus on the school board. At our last school board meeting, fellow warrior and student school board member Sarah Nguyen and I joined the rest of the school board in approving a resolution to show our commitment to safe schools for all of our students. That means doing everything we can to ensure that no guns make their way on any of our school campuses. And I'm going to read you one of the lines from that resolution. Whereas thousands of students have publicly expressed concern for their safety and well-being and have indicated that policymakers should act immediately to protect them in school and beyond. So I picked that line out of this resolution. Notice that it says students have expressed. Students, because that's the real advocacy. The real advocacy is happening right here. It's happening at schools and it's happening by students. Students like Marjorie Stoneman Douglas, student Emma Gonzalez, who you've probably seen all over the internet with her eloquent words that are so powerful, calling for new gun control legislation. I know that there's a lot of Emma Gonzalez here at West Campus, a lot of authentic, real student leaders with strong student voices. It's those student voices that really matter. And adults oftentimes will say, youth are the leaders of tomorrow. Well, that's not true. Like, you are proving that youth are the leaders right now. And that's a big difference. And you and your voices are leading this change. And we've been waiting for this to happen because the folks in my generation have failed you. And now it's your turn to take action. So I'm just so proud of you all for walking out today and standing up for what you believe and for being those leaders of today. So thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Julia Sidley, and I'm going to be presenting a speech that was written by a couple of your fellow classmates here on campus. Thank you all for being here today to express your views on such an important issue. You are here because you agree that something must be done about the senseless tragedies that have been plaguing our nation, and understand that we must use our voices and share our ideas in order to not only protect ourselves, but our future. We are children who are being expected to act like adults, while the adults are proving themselves to behave like children. These are the powerful words of 18-year-old Parkland survivor and activist Emma Gonzalez. These survivors are speaking up and fighting for change, and we are here today to stand in solidarity with them and those across the country with a common goal, and use our voices to say loud and clear, never again. We are here because these issues of gun violence directly affect our generation. Politicians can debate all they want about gun control, but we understand that this is an issue that can no longer be ignored. We as students are the ones that hide under desks during lockdowns and truly know how it feels to be afraid for ourselves, our friends, and our family members. Our experiences concerning gun violence, especially in schools, are unique. Our country's schools should be a safe place, and we should not have to feel afraid while we are trying to gain an education. We are the future of this country, and we are demanding to be heard, seen, and respected. Our views are important and represent the future of this nation. We demand stricter gun laws on a federal level. The safety of an individual should not be determined by the state they live in. Uniformity is how we must protect ourselves. We demand age restrictions on the sale of guns and stronger background checks, and we call for an end to the sale of assault rifles. These were some of the demands of the Parkland survivors and can no longer be ignored. We are walking out all over the country for all people who have experienced gun violence, including systemic forms of gun violence that disproportionately impact teens in Black and brown communities. It is important that when we refer to gun violence, we do not overlook the impact of police brutality or see police in schools as a solution. We also recognize that the United States has exported gun violence through imperialist foreign policy to destabilize other nations. These forms of gun violence have not ceased, and we as students are standing together because we should no longer see headlines about passionate young people, no different than ourselves, having the rest of their lives taken from them. Ingrained in the Declaration of Independence of these United States, all of us have certain unalienable rights: life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. Students such as ourselves should not have to live in fear that our rights to life or the pursuit of happiness will be violated or taken from us by another individual's right to own a weapon. We raise our voices for action against all forms of gun violence. We students and our allies organizing the school walkout to demand Congress pass legislation to protect us. We are not safe at school or in our cities and towns. We need action. It is our elected officials' jobs to keep us safe and pass federal gun reform legislation that will address the public health crisis of gun violence. Gun control in the past has not been enough. We live in a country where mass shootings have become commonplace. We've grown up surrounded by the devastation of school shootings and a generation filled with fear. But it has been proven by so many countries around the world that this is not how it must be. We as a community will make it through this if we stand united. We will not let this fear get the best of us. We know that this is something we will overcome. We want Congress to pay attention and take notes. Many of us will vote this November, and many others will cast their ballots in 2020. To all of you, the current youth of America and the future of this nation, take this moment to be empowered and know that your voice matters. Many of us will soon be able to vote. Use this tool because it gives you power. If our generation is the one to stop voting habits, we will truly be unstoppable, and we will see the change we want and feel represented. You have the power to vote on legislation which affects us every day. We can use these powers to vote and assemble and express our opinions and send a strong and clear message to those in power. We will not sit idly by, and we will not be silent. We are here today to say that enough is enough. Thank you.
Alright, how many of you guys are gonna... Alright, so I have some information for you guys. If you are 16, you can pre-register to vote. Just stop, find a place to find a registration ballot, mail it in. It takes all of 5 minutes. It's extremely important. Voting is the way that we can voice ourselves directly to the government, which is the most effective means of doing it. Contact people. Ask what you can do. People are always looking for assistance, especially from young people. We are the generation that is going to lead all kinds of revolutions of change. And we need to take that seriously, and we need to be proud of that. Yeah, thank you guys so much. So now I'm going to give the mic to Anna. Yeah.
Okay, so we all know that this walkout is in memory of the victims of the mass shootings at Columbine High School, Virginia Polytechnic Institute, Sandy Hook Elementary School, and many other schools across our country. As we add Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School to the already too long list, we would like to read out the names of the victims to keep them in our memory and to find justice for their lives and prevent what happened to them from happening to any other student in the United States again. We have Alyssa Aladef, Scott Beagle, Martin Anguiano, Nicholas Dorret, Aaron Feiss, Jamie Guttenberg, Chris Hickson, Luke Hoyer, Kara Lofren, Gina Montalto, Joaquin Oliver, Elena Petty, Meadow Pollock, Helena Ramsey, Alex Schachter, Carmen Schentrup, and Peter Wang. It upsets me very much that there are so many names on this list and so many other students that we have not named yet. So can we have a moment of silence for these victims?
All right, thank you for that. So, a lot of people are wondering what exactly this walkout is doing. And I think you guys have really proven it. It's because we're standing up, we're speaking out. I'm looking at your signs. Thank you so much for bringing those. Thank you for coming out. I know it's cold. But I think with this step, we can't just like go back into our classrooms and do nothing. We definitely need to move forward. I think we just need to get involved. We should be calling our Congress people and writing our Congress people and telling people that the NRA can't pay everybody in the world to be silent and just let people like us get killed. So, yeah, thank you for coming out.
One last thing. Oh, thank you. Yeah. One final thing. If you guys please write letters to our Congress people, anyone, and if you tell me who you want to send it to, give them directly to me anytime, and I will send them off for you. If not, you do it. It's important that we start writing our legislation, because that's where true change is going to come from, contacting directly our legislation. All right, it's 10:17. That was the 17 minutes. There's the bell. All right. You go to your third period now. Oh, yeah, 5 minutes. You go 5 minutes. Yeah, thank you guys so much. This was beautiful and amazing. Thank you.